Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that I guarantee every single one of us has dealt with. It's like this invisible force that messes with our deadlines, our stress, everything. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's set the scene. You've got a week to do something, a whole week. Your boss gives you a report to finish, and you're like, 7 days? No problem. You think about it. You might even, open a blank document. But let's be honest, when does the real work get done? Yeah, it's that last hour, isn't it? The final panicked rush, probably with way too much coffee.
Look, if this is sounding a little too familiar, you are definitely not alone. And here's the good news. It's not because you're lazy or a master procrastinator. Nope. Turns out you've just been caught by a really powerful, kind of invisible rule that controls how we get things done. And believe it or not, this thing has a name. It's called Parkinson's Law. And where it comes from, well, it's probably not what you're thinking. Okay, so let's hop in a time machine back to 1955. There's this British naval historian, a guy named Northcote Parkinson, and he's writing this kind of funny satirical piece for The Economist. He's not looking at CEOs or tech startups, he's just observing the British government bureaucracy. And he starts to notice this really weird trend. It didn't matter how simple a task was, the work just stretched out. And based on that one observation, he came up with this idea that became super famous. He said, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. It sounds so simple, right? But man, its brilliance is just how simple it is. That one sentence explains so much. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine a tourist visiting a city. If you tell them they have a whole week, what do? They'll probably wander around, check out some cafes, get a little lost, take a nap, take their time. But what if you told that same tourist they only had one afternoon? Whoa, suddenly they're a machine. They're sprinting straight to the big sites, being incredibly efficient. The work we do is exactly like that tourist. It just fits whatever container of time we give it. Okay, so we get the idea. But what does this time-filling trap actually look like in our day-to-day lives? Because it's not just about waiting till the last minute. It's also about what happens with all that extra time we think we have. Well, it usually sneaks in two ways. First, there's the rise of pseudo-tasks. You know what I'm talking about. The stuff that feels like work but isn't. Like reorganizing your computer files for the 10th time or answering emails that really don't matter. And then there's what you could call the balloon effect. A task that should be a simple 10-slide presentation suddenly blows up into this huge 30-slide masterpiece. Why? Just because you had the time to let it get that big. And all of this points to a pretty uncomfortable truth, doesn't it? The core of the problem isn't that we don't have enough time. A lot of the time, the problem is we have too much of it. That extra time just sits there like an empty space. And we feel this weird pressure to fill it up with, well, anything, even if it's not productive.
But okay, don't despair. This isn't some life sentence condemning you to last-minute panic forever. The cool thing is, once you know the rule, you can start to break it. And the secret isn't about finding more time. It's about completely changing how you think about the time you already have.
So what's the fix? You have to fight back. You have to create your own limits, your own deadlines. Basically, you need to create artificial urgency. You have to force yourself to be that tourist with only one afternoon, even when your calendar says you have a whole week. All right, so how do we actually do that? Let me throw a question at you. That next thing on your to-do list, what if you only gave yourself 20 minutes to do it? Not an hour, not the rest of the day, just 20 minutes. What would change? Okay, so here are 3 really practical ways you can start creating that urgency right now. Number 1 is the clock challenge. Just ask yourself, how fast could I really get this done if I had to? Then set a timer and just go for it. Number 2, laser focus. For that block of time, you eliminate everything else. Your phone goes away, social media is closed. It's just you and the task. And third, something you've probably heard of, the Pomodoro technique. You work in these super focused 25-minute bursts. It's basically you telling Parkinson's Law, sorry, you only get 25 minutes to play with, not a second more. When you start using tricks like these, something really cool happens. Your whole mindset starts to shift. You stop seeing a deadline as this far-off thing in the future, and you start seeing time for what it is. A resource you need to use with purpose. And that really brings us to the most powerful idea here. It's this: give your work the time it deserves, not just the time that you have. If something is truly a 1-hour task, then it should get 1 hour of your absolute best focus, not an entire week of you kind of worrying about it in the back of your mind. Parkinson's Law can be so frustrating when you're stuck in it.
But once you understand it, it's actually incredibly empowering. You now hold the secret to breaking that cycle of procrastination and stress. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to do with all that time you're about to get back?